video will give you a walkthrough on how you can easily predict the amount of goals a team will score in a match. To start, we are gonna need the average goals per game in the whole league. To get that, we will divide the total amount of goals all the teams scored together divided by the total matches played by all the teams together. With this number, we can calculate the attacking and defensive rating of the teams. To get the attacking rating, you will first divide the amount of goals a team scored by the amount of matches played in brackets, and divide that number by the average goals per game in the whole league. The higher the number means that the team scores more goals per game than the league average, and the lower the number means the team scores less goals. For the defensive rating, we will use the same formula except with the goals against instead of the goals for. The lower the number means that a team concedes less goals per game than the league average goals per game, and the higher means that a team concedes more. The next step is to get the standard deviation of the goals scored for a team. Herefore, you use a simple function in Excel and then select all the goals for per game of the team you selected. The next thing you will need is the mean. The mean is the average goals a team scores per game divided by the defensive rating of the opponent that team is playing. Now we get to the part where the games will be simulated. To simulate a game, you will use the function norm.inv. The first thing you will put in the function is another function named rand. The function rand will make sure a random scenario happens every time you refresh the page. Then you fill in the mean calculated earlier and the standard deviation. Now pull that number down till you have 500 different games simulating at the same time, or how many games you want yourself. The next step is to turn all the minus numbers that are the outcome of the games into zeros. Because you can't score minus goals in a game. Herefore you will use the function called if. If cell C3 is smaller than 0, that cell should become a 0, but if it is bigger than 0, it will remain the same number. The last step is to see how many goals are scored in all the simulated games. The function COUNTIF will help count all the games and the amount of goals you want to see. Divide that number with the amount of games you have simulated, and you will get the percentage that shows how many percent of all the games have a certain amount of goals.